So the pandemic has been hard for everyone, and this is particularly true, I guess, for parents. I'm a parent, and I have four kids, but three of them are in elementary school, and they're living at home, and they're doing school at home during the pandemic. And I got to tell you, that was incredibly difficult, and it continues to be. It's something that's very challenging. While my wife and I are still trying to do our full-time work and trying to get the kids to do their schoolwork, it's absolutely bananas. But I got to tell you, the most challenging thing of this pandemic hasn't been that. It's been everything else that kind of compounds upon that, because the schoolwork and the work, those are just things, but it's just all about the little things in your life that kind of eat away at you. So I want to tell you a story about probably the greatest challenge I've had so far in the pandemic. Um, so like I said, my kids, the little ones, are at school at home, which makes it pretty difficult for them to get out and do anything, because we're trying to be very cautious with them. So they're very squirrely. Luckily, okay, we have a backyard that they can play in, which is great, and a basement in which they can play around and do things. In fact, one of their bedrooms is in the basement too. It's great. But one day, some not so great stuff happens, and all of a sudden, we get some backup in one of the toilets downstairs. Now, okay, it happens. Gross, but let's clean it up. Well, then, next day happens again. Oh, shit, literally. Okay, it happens. And oh no, it happens again, and this time it's a backup in the utility room and the bathroom now. And like, oh no, what do we do? What's going on? And then one of our kids, we find out that one of our kids had flushed something down the toilet, which is not an uncommon occurrence, but it's still something that we have to have to deal with. So we're like, okay. So we start looking and doing some basic home plumbing, and nothing. It's not, doesn't seem to be doing anything. So call a plumber. So a plumber comes in, looks at it. They don't see any problem right now. They can't find anything dislodged, can't dislodge anything, can't do anything. So they say, maybe you need to just maybe replace the toilet. Maybe it's stuck in the loop-de-loop of the toilet. And I go, what? I'm never replacing the whole toilet, you plunge it out, but I guess that's a thing. So my absolutely badass wife replaced the toilet because she is amazing. And she did all that, and I helped and held her tools and stuff. And so that was replaced, and we were like, oh wait, great, that should fix it, right? It did not. We once again had more sewage back up through the new toilet on the floor in the utility room, and expanding in circles. And we, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what are we gonna do with this. Not only we have the stuff, like I said, with the kids at home, they can't really go out and do much, and we're at home, and it's like we're kind of locked in. And then the basement in our whole house smells like shit, and it's so bad. What are you gonna do? And okay, well, let's get another plumber in. Okay, and so we finally get someone in that does the whole thing, gets a camera down, goes through the whole thing, and finally finds out that the septic line from our house to the city line that we live in kinked. Okay, and it's broken. It's broken. And then they said, well, you got to fix it. We go, okay, fine. Let whatever we got to do. They said, but there's a catch. You're in the middle of winter and the ground is frozen. We can't just dig it up. Okay. I said, well, is there any way that we could do this? And the plumber says, sure, but it's really expensive because we got to use some special chemicals, like melt the ground and dig it out. And then we got to do this in the middle of winter. And I said, oh my goodness. Well, how about we'll just wait it out. My wife and I decide we're going to wait. Okay, we can get through this. We'll just monitor our water. We'll shower with somebody looking out, and we'll get a phone call. We had a phone system set up, so if one of us was taking a shower, we would just have our phone on, and we get a call from someone who was waiting in the basement. And then we would just do dishes very slowly and drain the water very slowly, and that would seem to be working. But laundry wasn't working. We couldn't run the dishwasher. You couldn't, even the shower sometimes didn't work, and flushing toilets was an adventure. And so finally, after about a week, we said, you know what, we need a cave. Luckily, the weather had started to warm up a little bit, and they were able to come in and get that scheduled. So they bring someone in, dig out the whole backyard. Then we got to dig up one of our favorite favorite tree. It was and move the kids' playground all over the place. Okay, totally dig up the yard. We finally fix it. Fix the problem. Thank goodness. And it was a fantastic reminder of how important access to water is, to some of those basic things that you kind of take for granted in your everyday life, that like, oh, we can just stay home in the pandemic, right? No big deal. But if you don't have access to water, all those things, we weren't able to, flush the toilet, and do laundry and wash dishes, and some of those basic things that we take for granted. That was difficult, and it was a nice reminder during the pandemic that when we say it's no big deal, you can just stay home and do that. It's a very privileged point of view, um, that we do have a pretty good life. And that's a really cool thing. But there were two, as I like to call them, shitty results. One, we got rid of the stuff in the basement, so finally we were able to get rid of the shitty smell in the basement. But a bonus shitty result was that our neighbor finally put up a fence, and she really doesn't like us. And so it was really great that we no longer have to see her face or her shitty attitude. So it is absolutely fantastic. And that's honestly the most stressful thing, a part of this living in the pandemic at home, was the time that we had massive sewage backup in our basement.